Let us start your business loss. Okay, a quick question for you. Yeah. So the main thing in my class, be attentive. Make sure that you listen to every possible detail. So here is your first question. Fastest fingers first. What is my name?
Hi, sir.
Yeah. Okay, cool. People are attentive. So the first thing, guys, always be attentive because business laws is based on all your concepts. People tell that this subject is difficult, but it is very easy, provided there is also equal effort put from your end as well. So as far as my efforts are concerned, I will condense and I'll make sure that the concepts are going inside your head. Second thing, even if one person has doubt in any particular topic, I will again repeat it for you, no problem at all. So do not hesitate. Third one, as and when we are done with the concepts, as and when we cover some topics, I request all of you to go home. You have to revise and come for tomorrow's class. No excuses on that. Yes? So make sure all of you are finishing this subject with me. As and when we discuss any topic today, before attending tomorrow's class, make sure you cover up everything and again come back to tomorrow's class. We are at home only. Yeah. So make sure you read and come. Yeah. So I mean to say virtual meetings. Whenever we are coming and sitting in the class, make sure you revise and come. Done? Okay. Done. So how we'll be doing? I'll be muting all of you. As and when you have a doubt, you can unmute yourself. Because to avoid any disturbance, to avoid any noise, we'll be doing that. Done? Okay. Done. So let's start your business loss. One of a very important, as well as people tend to tell it as a little difficult in CA foundation, but I call it a little easy. Why? The particular subject is totally related to concepts. So in this particular chapter, I mean in this particular subject, I'll be telling you hundreds of stories. So don't think of seeing this as a subject or as a book or something really big, but I'll make sure that you will be looking into hundreds of stories and also the concepts are also going inside. So let us start this with, as slowly as possible and make sure everything is going inside. Done. So, any one of you have come across loss in any of your previous curriculums, or you are dealing with law for the first time?
We are dealing it for first time, sir.
It's for first time. And all of, what is your age? All of you are somewhere on 19, 18, 19?
17.
17. Okay. Okay. All young people, the young,
All teens, sir.
all teens. Okay. All young guns of India. Okay. Cool. Okay, so why I was asking is till you're 17 or 18, you would have seen science, maths, at least a little of accounts if you're from your commerce background. But law is totally new for you. You have not seen or even known about it, but still you know what it is and you have heard of it. But you have not gone in detail, you don't know what is there in this law. So everything is new for you in this particular subject. So there will be certain words which will be a little new. So do not wonder what it is and do not start thinking whether this is the right course or not. It takes time because this is your first step and this is your first time dealing in this particular subject. So what exactly is this business loss? Sir, we have a doubt. We are doing CA. Why should we study law? If that is your doubt, you as a CA, you are expected to know, and you are also, people think that you as a CA should know lot more than accounts and tax. That is the reason you also need to know the laws which is present in your country. As and when you increase in your levels, that is after your foundation, you go to your inter and then final. In every particular level, you will have a law paper in it. So law is not done only for foundation, it is done throughout your CA course. So while laws, as I told you, you are expected to know about the law as and when you complete your curriculum. Okay, no issues. So for CS also there is something which is you will find it relevant. Yeah, so people who are doing CS, you can find these things relevant for you as well. Done? Is this subjective or objective? So first I'll tell you how exactly is your particular So I'll tell you how exactly your curriculum is based, how this paper is, how many marks, what to expect, what not to expect, how we'll be dealing, how will be my methodology of teaching. I'll tell you everything so that you can be well prepared. So in this particular this particular paper, that is paper 2 of your CA foundation, it is business laws and business correspondence. Business laws is for 60 marks. Business correspondence is for 40 marks. This will be handled by a different faculty. What I will be helping you with this 60 marks, that is your business laws. So what exactly will be there in this business laws? No, this is not the same for CS. It's different. Yeah. Okay. So business laws is for 60 marks. And it is not a MCQ paper for CA foundation. It is not MCQ. You have to write. It is not MCQ, but it is a written format. Now, sir, what do we see in this particular business laws? Business laws has been divided into 5 chapters. Guys, I'll mute you people. Unless and until you have something to speak, do not unmute. Yeah, because there will be a lot of disturbance and let us not affect the class. Yeah, done. So in this business laws, you have in total 5 chapters. In business laws, there are in total 5 chapters. Is there any disturbance?
No, sir.
Clear? Done. Okay. So in total there are 5 chapters. We can also clear our doubts through chat box. Yes, you can. Yeah, but if you have anything very quick, you can unmute and ask. But if not, you can use your chat box. You guys being 163, even if all of you, even if assume 16 of you ping me at once, that is, you have chat at once, I'll get 16 messages. So to avoid that, you can ask me a question by unmuting. If not, you can also send me your doubts by chat box. I'll always help you with that as well. Done? Okay. So you in total there are 5 chapters and the weightage is 60 marks. So how will I be teaching? I'll be using a lot of notes. You will be writing and most of it will be like charts. So I prefer you guys having a book for your CA laws, that is your business laws, and make sure you're writing down everything. We'll be writing it a lot and I use lot of charts, and you can make your running notes. The places where I do not write, if you feel that is important, you can make note of that as well. You can have running notes with you all, and make sure you have your notes because you can understand your notes better than any book or module. So never forget that. The first thing is always have a good notes. Notes will help you a lot. And from my end, I'll also be sending you one more condensed form of your module itself, which you can also refer simultaneously with your notes. And there will be hundreds of examples in this particular subject. I'll be giving you hundreds of examples. Every particular concept I'll be teaching you with an example. So make sure you're writing it down somewhere. You can simultaneously make a note with me, however you prefer. Done? So let us start your business laws. This is your syllabus. You have in total 5 particular chapters. We'll be starting with Indian Contract Act today, and we have Sale of Goods Act, Indian Partnership Act, LLP Act, and Companies Act. And one more note, guys, wherever you have some problem with respect to the audio or video, wait for 5 to 10 seconds. The reason being, we have a simultaneous person connected from our particular institution also. If at all there is any network problem from our end, we'll get to know here. So if at all there is any audio or video problem, it might be because of your network as well. So keeping all of this in mind, let us dig into our subject. Sir, each law is a chapter. Yes, each law is a chapter. Under each chapter, you again have 5 to 4 units. Okay. So, there is a question, sir, is there any weightage distribution like that? Okay. Guys, first thing. Guys, how many of you are doing CS here? Okay. So guys, okay. Okay, there are so CA and CS. Okay, guys. So yes, CS also almost the concepts are same. You have even more than what is there in CA Foundation. So for business laws, whatever is already there, for people who are writing CS Foundation, for them it is little covered, but you have over and above whatever is there in your CS Foundation. But now I believe you have moved into CS EET. These things are not there for you in CS EET. Okay, that's cool. Cool. So, what I tell you is the way the student gets bored, in the same way even the teacher gets bored. So make sure you keep the class ongoing. And do not forget, here I just have a camera with me. There is nothing else. So imagine you talking to a camera for 3 hours. Can you do it? Yeah. So make sure there is questions if you have any. If the concept is clear, then that's really well and good. Yeah. Cool. Yes. So I'll not bore you. At the same time, I also ask you people not to bore me. Thank you. Cool. So, sir, the first question, do we have any weightage? Is it similar to our PU? Is it similar to our BCom? Where I have certain 5 to 6 years question paper, sir. I'll just read that and go. Can I pass? The answer is no. There is no fixed pattern. But I will tell you what is a rough weightage. But, sir, will it be stick to the same particular weightage? The answer is no. It will vary. It's not like your PU. There will be new questions asked in every attempt. But it is not that difficult as well, as long as you guys are focused. Yeah. So determination, dedication and focus, perseverance should be there throughout the career. Imagine you're in the first step of your CA. Imagine how it feels. You're already a CA. Just imagine about that thought. You're already a CA. How does that feel? Every day you have to start with that hope. Every person coming and sitting in this particular chair also were in that particular place where you're sitting. I came from there, guys. Just the way I just didn't step onto this particular chair. Yeah, it's always a journey. It's never a full stop. It's never a destination. Success is always a journey. It's not one day task. You will feel low one day. You will feel low second day. You have to be up and running from the next day. Bad days are there for me and you. But once we are focused, you should be focused. Yeah. I don't know how many of you have seen your teachers all these while. You can treat me like, I'll not say friend, don't start calling me Maga Macha and all. But I give you that space to share whatever, the tiny bit of doubt you have, and let us clear that only, and you will go forward. If you're stuck anywhere else also, let it be even off your curriculum. Sir, I'm not able to concentrate, I don't know how this course works. However it is, I'll be there to help you. And as the classes pass by, whenever we are feeling low, let us discuss something else apart from your subjects as well. So let us keep it interactive, informative, and also your futuristic. Done? Yep. Okay, done. So let us start your this one, and I was about to tell you about your weightage. So there are in total 5 chapters in this particular subject. Indian Contract Act is the lengthiest one. You can expect somewhere around 18 to 20 marks from Indian Contract Act. You can expect around 18 to 20 marks from Indian Contract Act. Sale of Goods Act, you can expect around 15 to 18 marks. Indian Partnership Act, you can expect around 12 to 15 marks. Companies Act, you can expect around 8 to 10 marks. Where did the LLP thing go? This is Indian Partnership. So LLP chapter, you can expect somewhere up to 6 to 8 marks. Sir, if we calculate, the total will not be 60. Obviously it will not be 60. As I told you, there is always a scope of asking more or even asking less. But yes, the maximum effort will be given by taking at least one question from each chapter. So it's not objective. I mean, it is not your MCQ question. It is your writing paper. Law will be asked for 60 marks, and this is going to be your weightage of the chapters. Sir, if at all they ask for more than 20 from here, then the conditions apply. I've already told you. This is just like a blueprint. We can go even more or less. Done? Yep. Okay, how much is the maximum marks? Okay, one question, the maximum they can ask is 6 to 7. 6 marks to 7 marks. That is the maximum weightage of one particular question. Yeah? Okay, so what is CA as per you guys? Is it a difficult course? Is it an easy course? Sir, what sir? It is easy only, sir. We can do it, sir. Or it is difficult, sir. All our parents, all our neighbors, friends, teachers have scared us to the core, sir. If we study, it's easy. Scared us a lot. Oh my god, man, I don't know how it is for you. For me, for every second I'm getting around 30 chat messages. Okay, depends on our location. Okay, so guys, first things first, it's a very okay, so first thing guys, whoever told you about this course, just make sure that is off your mind. Do not keep that and start studying. That thing should not be there in your mind. Start afresh whether people told you it is easy or difficult. Why? Always you have your own experience. You be your torch bearer. Why will you follow someone else's light? Have your life. You decide whether it is easy or difficult. If it's difficult, then tell yourself, yes, that paper was difficult. If it is easy, tell yourself, yes, I did a great work. It is never about easy or difficult. It is all about effort, hard work, and smart work. Yes? Yes? So tell me, what is the passing marks? What is the pattern? What is the pattern of your course? What is the passing marks? Okay, so in total you have 4 subjects. In total you have 4 subjects. Yeah. So there are two criteria for you to clear this particular course. There are two criteria. The first one, the minimum marks. The passing marks for your particular course is 40. Every subject you need to score 40 marks to pass this particular course. Okay, sir. Now assume, sir, in 4 subjects, first subject we scored 40, second subject we scored 45, third subject we scored 50, fourth subject we scored 50. Now tell me, did you guys pass it or not? No. Why? 40 is minimum, no? Aggregate. Okay, sir. Now there is something called aggregate, sir, which as a student till now we have not faced. Till now you have not seen a concept called aggregate. Now what is this aggregate, sir? Guys, remember, for you to pass this particular course, in every particular subject you need to score minimum 40. That is the first criteria. 40 is mandatory. The next criteria is you have to score minimum 50% as aggregate to clear your course. Now what is this 50%, sir? What is the total weightage of 4 subjects? It comes to 400. 100 in every subject, 4 into 100, 400. That is your total marks. In that, you have to score minimum of 200 marks. Now, what is this, sir? Total, whatever your particular score here is. 50 plus 50, 100, 145, 95. How much? 185. You have scored 185. If you have to pass this particular course, your total of 4 subjects should be equivalent of 200 or more than 200. So, two criteria. First thing, you have to score 40 in every particular subject, and put together you have to score 200 or more marks in your particular subject. Only then you will be qualified as a passed student. This concept you have not seen till date. So, sir, why is this 200 very important? There are two types of failure, guys. First one, people will not get these marks in this paper. That is, they might get say 35, 45, 30, 50. This is a first type of failure. Then the second type of failure is this. Yeah? Okay. Sir, so 39 in one and 19 all. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Someone, both, there are two questions. Sir, instead of keeping this, they could have said 50 in each subject. See, this is where you need to be a little more proactive. What happens if you keep 50? Now, there are certain subjects where you might feel it is difficult. In that you can score 40. You will be done with it. There might be certain subjects where it is easy for you. You can score 60 in it. You can set it off. 40 plus 60 is also 100. But you might be weak in this particular subject. That is the reason it is not 50, it is 40 minimum. The next one, sir, what if I get 39 in one subject and in the rest papers I get 99, 99, 99. Did I clear CA?
Not at all.
Answer is no. First criteria, minimum 40 should be there. That's an advantage or disadvantage. The minimum being 40 is an advantage, because if at all your any other subject is very confident, you are very strong in that particular subject, you can take an advantage there. Yeah, but disadvantage in certain terms, yes. Yeah. So, sir, why the hell are you telling all this, sir? Why do we have to know about all this? Guys, this failure, whatever I told you here, one subject 35, not getting 40, it is also okay to digest. You can at least somehow digest, not a big problem. This will be very hard to digest. Yeah. So, why I am telling you today, put this in your mind, irrespective of when your relatives ask what course you are doing. There are people doing CA for 10 years, 12 years, but there are people who have finished CA for 2 years, 3 years. Meaning, it is not easy, it is not difficult. There are people itself who have proved. You are no different. You can be those people who have cleared the CA course within 3 years, 4 years. Yeah, so always be positive. Second one, do not let the hope go. Whatever it might happen, also consider your age. You all your teenagers. You cannot expect your decisions to be 100% right. So what you need to do, believe in yourself. Yes, business law and BCR together you need to score 40. Yes, that's right. Got it? So this is a brief background. We saw what is your weightage. We also saw how is your curriculum being designed. Yeah. So knowing all this, now you know what are you up to. Yep. Okay. So now we know what are we all up to. No negative marking. It is writing, no. So no negative marking. It is not tick mark. It's okay, it's on mute. Everyone is on mute. All you need to do is, as and when there is a doubt, you can unmute and you can connect to me. Okay. I've told you your syllabus. I've told you how it works. I've told you everything. Now, every day revision is mandatory. Do not skip on your revision. We'll be done with our classes by 7:30. Take a half an hour, 1 hour break. Whatever we do today itself, you go through those chapters as and when we are done. Maximum it takes half an hour. By the time I finish this particular subject, even you will be done with your subject. Yeah? So it's very easy. Done? Okay. Sir, how to write, what to write, we'll see everything. I'll show you how to write your question paper. We have one day to just see and to know how to write question paper. And I'll be showing you how your question paper looks. Everything I'll be discussing. Whenever I'm telling you a topic, there itself I'll tell you from here question paper will come. Everything will be discussed. That is the reason. I don't know what was your previous class timings. My class timings will be up to 7:30. We'll be having break as well. Do not worry. And I'm not a person who will put it into your head. I'm not a person who will force it on you. I'll make sure that we are understanding the concepts and then we are moving on. Done? Okay, so welcome to all of you for a wonderful course, and I really hope all of you become CAs. So let us start with a positive note. So hi CAs sitting out there. That's the one thing which I would like to see from all of you. Yeah. So yes, all of you are already chartered accountants. This decision itself is a great thing. Yeah. So let us start your first chapter, Indian Contract Act. That is your first chapter. That is Indian Contract Act. Sir, what is this particular chapter? Indian Contract Act. Whenever you call any particular chapter in law, we call it as act. What do you mean by act? Act is nothing but a particular law passed by your parliament. All of you till now, you have that doubt, right? Sir, what do our MLA MPs do? Why do we need ministers? Tell us one reason, sir. We don't have a pakka road, all kacha road. Yeah, then why do we need to have our ministers? We have our ministers to take care of legislation. We have three bodies. We have three organs of the government. executive, legislature, judiciary. What is this, sir? Three organs. It's nothing to do with your particular subject, but to get into it, it is good for you to know how our economy works and how our judicial and our legislative works. So there are three organs in our particular government. Three organs. Sir, what do you mean by organ? Your face has organs. Eye, everything. That is an organ. In the same way, Indian government also works through its organs. The organs are executive, legislative and judiciary. What is this legislature, sir? Legislatures is your parliament, your MPs and MLAs. They have a debate. You would have seen assembly sessions. They sit and they fight on an act whether we need to pass this law in India or not. They put it to an vote, and the MPs and MLAs, they will put their vote whether I will agree or I will disagree. Once it is a majority, a law will be passed in India. That is how your GST is passed, that is how your Companies Act is passed, or any particular law in India is passed based on this particular background. So the first one is your legislative. Sir, what is executive? One organ has made a law. Now who will enforce this law? Law is made, but who will make sure whether the law is followed by the citizens or not? Police. Who is them? They come and sit in the part of your government, that is executive. They make sure the law is followed by every citizen of India. Okay, now your doubt is, sir, what if I do not follow the law? The third organ comes into picture, judiciary, courts. So the first one, parliament, the body which makes law. Next one is your executive. Law is made. They will make sure the law is followed in the entire country. Sir, now I am not following the law. One way is there, sir. Still I will go in the other way, sir. In my country, helmet is mandatory, sir, but still I will not wear, sir. Sir, the minimum age for driving in our country is 18. But we all students sitting right in front of your camera, we all drive, sir. And we are also laughing at that particular point of time, sir. Yes? We all drive, sir. But what is our age, sir? 17, sir. Do we have license, sir? No, sir. But we still drive, sir. Yes? Now what to do, sir? Whenever you pass the police, he will give you a challan to make sure that you are paying a fine. Sir, what if I do not pay fine? Your vehicle will be seized. You need to go to court. So the third organ, your entire country works on these three organs. So Indian Contract Act and also the 5 other laws, whatever we'll be discussing, were also passed in the same manner. In assembly, one person will tell, he will draft sections and all, and he will go and present it in the assembly. Once all the MLAs, you would have seen, no, all our MPs and MLAs, they will contribute so much to our country. You would have seen videos of them, they watching videos and all. Yeah, I'm just telling this one, all positive. Yeah, so what exactly they are doing? They are debating on concepts. So what are they doing? They are making sure that there are specific laws introduced in India so that you guys, your rights are protected. So one of such legislation, and all the chapters whatever we are seeing are such legislations which are passed in parliament. Sir, not able to hear you. I was on mute. Done. Is there any law for the MLA and MP to be educated? Is there any law for the MLA and MP to be educated? I didn't exactly get you. To become a MLA and MP, are you asking is there any education? There was once an education minister in India. I'll not tell who. He is not even a 10th pass person. He has not even cleared his 10th. No requirement. Yeah. But study, yeah. I'm not supporting you guys not to study. It is only exceptional cases. But that person was with, yeah, huh. So Indian Contract Act 1872. Able to hear me, all of you? Done. Okay, now let us come to your syllabus. Sir, what exactly is there? So, the first chapter, Indian Contract Act 1872. Sir, in this particular thing, you said what is an act? Act means a law. So, for every specific thing in India, we have an act. We have more than 3000 or 4000 acts in India. More than 3000 or 4000 acts. If you are a CS or if you are into LLB, you will be studying at least 100 laws by the end of your course. 100. This act, you will be reading 100 such acts by the end of your course. Yeah, sir, are you scaring us? No, you will become a very intelligent person. You can deal with everything. Okay, sir, we got to know what you mean by act. Now, what is this 1872, sir? I was not born. Sir, forget about I. My parents were also not born. Yeah, my parents were also not born. To be frank, my grandparents were also not born. Sir, what is this? We got independence in the year 1947. Then how come there is India also a law, but where we didn't have independence? How is this possible? Indian Contract Act was passed by British law who were in India. Whenever the Britishers were in India, when they were here, this particular legislation was passed during that time. And it being a very important legislation, we still have it in India even as on today's date. And in most of the examples, you might feel, sir, this will not happen in today's date at all. If you are feeling that, it is because of this year. There are certain concepts which were passed during 1872, which might be relevant on that day, but today, because of today's technology, it is not relevant. That to your age, the millennials, for you, yes, I mean, you are even the next generation to that. For you, it is even over and above that. You might feel, sir, this particular thing, how is it even relevant in today's date? There might be certain situations, but as a whole, this particular thing is helpful for you. Done? Okay, sir. So, you said about what is law. You told why it is 1872. When Britishers were in India, that is when this particular law was passed. This is also clear, sir. Now, what is this particular law? Now, what do you mean by contract? Sir, why do we have to know this particular thing? What is contract, guys? In your language, what do you mean by contract?
Agreement.
Agreement. Sir, contract is nothing but agreement. Okay.
Promise made to someone.
Okay, agreement. Most of you tell it is an agreement. Okay, what is agreement?
You come to terms with someone. A written promissory document.
A written promissory document.
Offer and acceptance.
Okay, and offer and acceptance, agreement, consideration, and you people tell the law is first time for you.
Negotiable instrument.
So how do you people know about all this?
From probably before 10th.
Before 10th?
In social studies, you would probably
Civics.
Okay, well, nice man. Okay, so any of you have entered into contract till now? Any one of you in your batch? Have you ever entered into a contract with anyone? No. None of you have entered into a contract?
Obviously, yes.
Obviously, yes. Who is it obvious?
Sir, as a precondition, is it have to be official or not?
It has to be official or not?
Because most contracts we would have made were just sort of thin air or orally. Hardly any of us would have written it down.
Okay. Okay, tell me a formal contract, not friends, not the basic oral ones. Any contract which you have entered into officially.
No, we can't because we were minors.
Okay, sir, we are minors. Someone tells that we are minors, sir, we cannot enter into a contract. Okay. Okay, people above 18.
So maybe that's because we don't have complete knowledge about what it is.
Okay. So, guys, the first thing, when you got admitted in this particular Arivu Pro for CA Foundation, who called and who signed, or if there is any formality like that, who paid for that?
Our parents.
Parents? You guys didn't pay, or you guys didn't sign? Let us go to your colleges. Did you sign, or did your parents sign on your admissions? Wherever you are studying, your parents, your colleges, when you are getting, the admissions, yeah, they would have taken your signature and they also told your parents to sign. Why? So, what I want to tell you, all of you have entered into contract now or later, but you don't know that this is whether valid or not. You coming and taking classes in Arivu Pro is also a contract. You getting education from your college is also a contract. Contract is there in every second of your life. Sir, how? I'll prove you once we are done with this particular subject. You will only know. Sir, without knowing, we have entered into so many contracts. Sir, give us one example. Sir, Big Billion Day, sir. We will shop left and right on Flipkart. How many of you have done shopping? Have you shopped on Flipkart, Amazon? Have you guys went for shopping? Yes, sir. We buy cool stuff, sir. Yeah, so there is a contract there as well. That itself is a contract. Yeah, in Flipkart, why is there that return policy if at all there is any damage? Because you have your rights. So, from where did you get this right, sir? Because of this law. So, in this particular thing, we'll be studying what is Indian Contract Act. So, what is Indian Contract Act? Whenever you enter into a contract with someone, sir, now what is this contract? We'll dig into detail, we'll know more in detail about what exactly is this word as and when we go in further in this particular chapter. So, why I wanted to tell you that it is not something which has come outside your blue moon. It is something which you deal in your every day of your life. Okay, sir. So, in the chapter 1, your first unit, in total there are 6 units in Indian Contract Act. The first unit is nature of contracts. Thank you. So, the first unit is nature of contracts. What is nature of contracts, sir? What is this? This is nothing but like your movie. Once you have to start your particular movie, the first 10 minutes will be the character introductions. Who is what is he, they'll be telling that. This particular chapter is an introduction of the rest 5 chapters. In this particular first unit, you will be seeing what is that term, what is this. Based on the first unit, in the rest 5 units, you will be seeing concepts. So the first thing is just nothing but your introduction. What is what? You'll know the concepts better once your first unit is very clear. So, let us start your first unit, that is your nature of contracts. Make sure you have your book You can write with me. Make sure you are having a book next to you. If at all you're taking note of it, you can tell me to stop somewhere. I'll stop. Once you are done, we can proceed. Yeah. Done. Okay, sir. The first thing which I need to tell you, Indian Contract Act is a private law. Indian Contract Act is a private law. Sir, what do you mean by private law? There are two types of laws. One is public law, the second one is private law. Public law, if you do it or not, you being a citizen of India, you need to follow that. Sir, give us an example. Just like that, you were feeling bored. Huh?
Like paying tax is it public law, sir?
Your taxation is public law. Your criminal code. Sir, if I kill someone, police will come and arrest me. Public law. Sir, one way, applicable to everyone. Public law. Sir, what do you mean by private law? As long as you do not enter into a contract, this law is not applicable to you. And you can have the law based on your terms. Meaning what, sir? If two parties are entering into a agreement, they can decide what their agreement is going to be. They can decide what, when, how their agreement is going to take place. It is left to individuals. The law will not talk about it. It is left to individuals. You can alter your terms and conditions. That is the meaning of private law. Sections do not explain you. It just tells what is your rights and liabilities. But what are the terms and conditions? It is left to individuals. They can take their own decisions. That is the reason it is called as private law. Public law, you cannot tweak it. You cannot alter it. You need to just go with the section. Private law, you can do it as per your agreement. Example, sir, rental agreement. If you live in a rental house, you will know that stamp paper, you will enter into an agreement. That,
Sir?
huh?
You told us that each and every second almost we enter into a contract.
Age is a limit, yes.
So, almost every one of us is in a contract. So it is a public law also, no?
Okay, see, what do you mean by public law and private law? Public law, it is not left to you to choose the terms and conditions. Now, for example, assume there is a contract applicable between me and you. So, your previous subject was between 4 to 7. But this subject is from 4 to 7:30. This is Contract Act. Public law, you cannot amend it. One way, sir, morning, is it okay? Two way, sir? No. No parking. Night, can I go and park, sir? No. You cannot amend it. Private law, it is left to you. Whatever additional terms you want, you can add to it. So,
They set the conditions, basically.
exactly. The terms and conditions is left to individuals themselves. Whatever you agree, that will be your contract. And that itself will be your right as well as liability. If at all you suffer any loss, then this law comes into picture. That is the reason it is called as private law. That is the reason, because of this, I'll write one more point. It is not exhaustive. It is not exhaustive. What do you mean by not exhaustive, sir? It is not fully complete. So the law is not complete. It is left to you to make it complete. Whatever terms you add, that itself makes it complete. As I told you, it is not exhaustive, it is not complete. You have a right to enter into a contract. You can choose what and all is going to be the terms and conditions which will prevail between two people. So you cannot say that section is not specifically applicable, but you can add over and above that. For example, the law says that if at all you need to enter into a contract, you should be a major. Now, because of that, you cannot amend it. So the skeleton should be same. You can fill in the blood and muscles. Yeah, you cannot alter that. Done? Okay. Okay. So these two things you need to know. Yeah, before we get. Yeah. Done? Okay. Should we write this? It is just for knowledge. Even if it is not written, it is fine. Yeah. Okay. Now we are starting your particular syllabus. Okay, sir. Sir, now if at all we need to start a contract, what is the first thing that needs to be there for a contract to come and sit in place, from which the contract exactly starts? What is this? Huh?
Two parties.
Okay, two parties. Okay.
Stamp paper.
Stamp paper. Okay. Stamp paper is the first essential thing for a contract. Huh?
Free consent.
Free consent. Okay.
Signature.
Must be major. Okay.
So we need to decide what we want to do, like what contract we need to make.
Okay. So the first thing, guys, what is the contract? What you want to do is a primary thing. So the contract starts with what?
It must be communicated to the other person.
It must be communicated to the other person. So what must be communicated?
Our signature.
Terms and conditions.
So what is all that called? Offer. What you are willing to do first should be communicated to you. Sir, give us an example. How did you join to Arivu Pro? How many of you have seen our ads? How many of you have seen? Guys, if you are not talking, you can go on mute. All of you, if not talking, go on mute. So, sir, before I enter into a contract, there should be an offer. Sir, what do you mean by offer? The other name for offer is a proposal. Sir, meaning what? Arivu Pro told you that we will be offering CA Foundation course to you. We told we will offer CA Foundation course to you. And only then you got to know Arivu Pro was there. So what did you first get to know? You got to know that there was something called Arivu Pro who are doing this particular subject and this particular co-curriculum that is called as your CA Foundation. So this was an offer from our end. Offer that we are doing CA Foundation course. So offer is nothing but one person telling the other person, I am willing to do this, or I am not willing to do this. Are you okay with it? If that person agrees to it, between you both, there will be a contract. So now what exactly is an offer? Offer, there are two people. In a contract, there is always two people. A person who is giving an offer is called as offerer. A person to whom the offer is made is called as offeree. So what exactly is happening here, sir? One person signifies to another. One person signifies to another. Sir, what do you mean by signifies? Nothing but communicate. One person communicates to another. Offerer is communicating to the offeree. What? He is signifying two things. To do or to abstain from doing anything. With a view to obtain the assent for such act or abstinence. So, what do you mean by offer, sir? When one person signifies to another to do or to abstain from doing anything. When one person signifies to another to do or abstain from doing anything with a view to obtain the assent for such act or abstinence is called an offer. Sir, total Greek and Latin. Let us break it. Let me know once you have written. Guys, one thing, when you are sitting in my class, I'll make sure you need not use a dictionary. Let it be any word, I'll explain it to you. Yeah, that's my word. No complicated words. We'll see. Yeah, done? Okay. Okay, for those of you words for whom it is blur, wait for 2 minutes. It might be network issue. Let me know once you have copied. Done? Okay. Yeah, we'll do. I have not explained you anything. I have just written the textbook definition. Did you guys understand everything else? Except abstain, abstinence and assent. Everything else is clear. Okay. When one person signifies to another, when one person is asking or telling to the other person to do or to abstain from doing anything. Sir, what does this abstain? Abstain means stop. Or not to do. So abstain or absistence meaning one and the same. What do you mean by abstain? Stop or not to do. So when one person signifies to another to do or not to do anything, and he is asking for your acceptance. Assent means your acceptance. Meaning he is asking for your acknowledgement. Whether are you okay to it? If you agree, it becomes a contract. If you do not agree, there is no contract. So, what do you mean by offer? When one person is asking you to do something or he is asking you not to do something and you agree to it. Once he is asking you and you are agreeing to it, it becomes a contract. Yes? Okay, sir. Example, sir. Example. Now, our case itself, we told you that we are going to provide CA foundation course for you. There was an offer. Are you willing to buy? I am telling you, I am offering CA course offer. Are you willing to do? Are you willing to attend my class? You said, okay, I am willing to attend. I asked you, I did not enforce it on you. Bahubali, Shivagami says, whatever I say, that is the word. No one else should do anything apart from that. That is not an offer. Offer should always be with an object of asking other person's acceptance. It should not be enforcement. I don't know how many of your parents told you you should do CA. That is not an offer. Are you okay doing CA? That is an offer. That is the meaning of assent here. That party should be asking for your acceptance. It should not be enforcing. Okay, sir. Sir, we got to know one party will obviously ask me to do something. Who will ask me not to do something? Will there be a contract by giving money and stopping me from doing something? Are there contracts for that also? Yes? Yes? Any example? Where you give money and you tell the other person not to do something. When? Close your firm. Illegal things. Bribe. Okay, all that is illegal only. Corruption. Okay. Okay. So, to do thing, it is clear. Example, you can write your CA foundation by Arivu. They told that we'll be doing this. Are you okay to it? Okay. Now, assume, okay, one of you, whoever is here, okay, Bhavan. Is it, that is how, if at all I do not pronounce your name properly, let me know. Yeah? Okay, the first example. Bhavan was going on his bike. Yeah? Bhavan was going on his bike. He was, guys, I hope you do not mind me taking your names. I'll not exploit you. It is just for your understanding. I hope it is fine.
Completely fine.
Awesome. So see, this is also a contract. I asked him. He said, I am completely fine. It's a contract. I asked you whether are you okay with it. You said it's okay. Contract. Yeah? Okay, sir. Now, Bhavan was driving his two-wheeler. He was going just like this Dhoom Machale, doing this wheelie, nitros, everything he was putting and he was going. And on the opposite side, there was Sanjana. Sanjana was standing next to her car. Bhavan straight away he come and he hit Sanjana's car. Sanjana's car suffered certain damages. Sanjana's car suffered.
The audio is not audible.
It's not audible for all of you?
It's audible, sir.
It's audible?
Yes,
Okay.
sir, it's audible.
Okay.
It's audible.
Okay, done. So,
It's audible.
Bhavan straight away goes and he hits his bike to Sanjana's car. Yeah? Now Sanjana's car, there is an accident and she suffered certain loss. If she has to go and repair her car, it will cost her 50,000. Now Sanjana got irritated. Sanjana said, hey you Bhavan, get down. How dare you do this? I will file a case on you. She made a big mess of Bhavan. She didn't leave Bhavan. Bhavan got scared. Now he felt that in my Kanda no one went to police station. Will I be the first person to go to police station? Now to avoid this, Bhavan told Sanjana, you do one thing. You do not go to police station. You do not go to court. Sanjana asked why. That is my right. See, listen completely. You will not go to court. You do not go to police station. Sanjana said, then how will I get justice? Arey, listen. Instead of going to police station and court, whatever are the damages you have suffered, I will only pay you. Now, if you go to court, court will tell me to make sure your car is well and good. I will only pay you that money. So, you do not go to court. I will pay you the money. You do not go to police. Sanjana thought for a while, can I trust this person? Sanjana said, okay, give me cash. Bhavan said, I don't have money now. Sanjana said, then I cannot trust you. Bhavan said, okay, we'll do one thing. I have a paper and pen. I will write it that I will give you money tomorrow. You give me your address and I will sign and I'll go. Sanjana said, okay, I'm fine. So they took a paper and Mr. Bhavan, he wrote that I will give Sanjana 50,000 rupees tomorrow. For which Sanjana said, okay, and I will not go to court. So, there was an offer by Bhavan to give money. 2. Not to go to court. Still, it is an offer. So, Arivupro told they will do CA Foundation to you to do something. In this case, not to go to court, not to do something is abstain from doing, stop from doing. And you still accepted this, and it is not illegal. It is called as out of court settlement. So this is called as abstinence, or it's called as abstain. Here, Bhavan didn't tell, I will give you money. If you go to court, I will come to your home. I will blackmail you. He didn't do that. He asked Bhavana asked Sanjana whether are you okay with it. He asked for her acceptance. So, offer is always one person signifies to another his willingness to do or not to do something, anything. Such act or abstinence is itself called as an offer. Any doubts? Clear? Awesome. So guys, every concept in this particular subject we'll be seeing in this way only. As I told you, I'll be telling you 100 stories. Yeah, it can be more also. Just as a count, I'm telling you 100. Yeah, it will be more for sure. So, section 2A, important, offer. Section 2A, offer. Section 2A is offer. Okay, sir. Now, we got to know what is offer. Did you guys write it down? Yeah, you told you wrote it down, right? Okay. See, now you know the concept. How long will it take for you to revise and come to tomorrow's class? Can't you guys do that? Isn't it possible? How long do you think will it take? 45 minutes maximum. Yeah. If you do it constantly, not me, not you, no one in this world can stop you from becoming a CA. Yeah. Okay. Sir, now we wrote something here called as section 2A. Sir, what is the section 2A? In your class, there are 100 people. Will your teacher call all your names, or there will be these teachers who will call your roll numbers? In law, every content is recognized by the section number. In most of the Indian laws, section 2, I repeat, section 2 is always definitions. Section 2 in most of the Indian laws are definitions. Sir, now offer is one. Now there is one more definition. How will we call that? Now there is one section. Offer is 2A. If there is one more definition, you call it as 2B. If it is one more definition, 2C. This is called as clause. This is called as section. So how do you read a particular section? It is always the first number will be called as section. The next alphabet to the section will be called as clause. how many sections are there in this law? In total, there are more than 200. Yeah? It has been split. First part, it is like 1 to 75 and 126 to again after 200. The second part, you will be learning it in your CS Inter. Yeah? So, first part you will be seeing in your foundation. The second part you will be seeing it in your Inter. Yeah? Section 2 clause A. Yes, that is how you say. Okay. If at all, assume there is a number, section 4. And there is again one more number. Now how do you call? Section 4, subsection 1, subclause A or clause A. It is clause A. So how do you call it? Section 4, subsection 1, clause A. This is how you read your sections in law. The first one will always be section. Then if at all there is next number, that will be called as subsection. If at all there is number, it is called as clause. If there is one more alphabet, it will be called as subclause. Maximum, this is how it will be. Nothing more, nothing less. Yeah? Yeah? Now, almost all your Indian laws, section 2 will always be definitions. Yes? Okay, sir. Clear. 5:30, we'll take a break. Yeah? Okay, sir, we saw what is section 2A. Now, section 2B. Sir, there was an offer. Now, Sanjana accepted to the offer. Now, what is it called? Acceptance. Sir, what do you mean by acceptance? Very simple.
Agreeing to what he told.
That's all. When the proposal is accepted, it becomes promise. So, when a proposal is accepted, it becomes promise. That's the reason for acceptance, one more word is called as promise. The definition is one and the same. So, when the proposal is accepted, in our case, Bhavan said, you do not go to court, I will pay you 50,000. There was an offer. Sanjana said, okay, you pay me 50,000, I'll not go to court. She agreed to it. Once the proposal is accepted, it becomes a promise. It is nothing but an acceptance. Yes, clear, simple one. In our case, CA Foundation, we told that we will teach you CA Foundation. You guys paid the fee, that was your acceptance. So, it became a contract between us. So, there was an offer, there is an acceptance. Done. Sir, now there is an offer, there is an acceptance. What will it become? The next definition, section 2E, called agreement. Sir, what do you mean by agreement? Every promise and set of promises. Every promise and set of promises forming consideration for each other. So what do you mean by agreement? Okay, sir, what happened to section 2D, 2C? So when I say definition, you do not have everything. 2D, we will be seeing, we have the next one, that is 2D only. When we are talking about consideration, consideration is in the next chapter. There is an entire chapter on that. We will see that when we are doing that. 2D is consideration. Yeah. And guys, there is no skipping of topics. You can blindly trust me on that. Whatever is there in your module, everything including that particular example or letter will be discussed. Yeah, so do not worry. And also I will not explain over and above what is there in your syllabus. Yeah. Done. So what is agreement, sir? Every promise and set of promises. What is promise? Once an offer is accepted, that becomes promise. Correct? So what is agreement? In short, agreement means nothing but
terms and conditions.
there will be an offer plus acceptance itself is an agreement. Yeah. Sir, in this, what do you mean by consideration? What do you mean by consideration? Yes, Kusma, that's right. True. So, Bhavan said that I will give you 50,000. And Sanjana said that, okay, let us enter into a contract. Now, they both signed a paper. So, they agreed. What do you mean by agreement? What do you mean by agree? People have agreed. Agreement, something on paper. But what exactly mean by agree? Two people agreeing on something on some terms and conditions. So what do you mean by agreement? One person telling to do, the other person... Huh? Guys, if not talking, go on mute. So an offer plus acceptance, when two people make this, that will be called as an agreement. Sir, what is this consideration? In short, I'll tell you what is consideration. The next entire chapter is based on consideration. Sir, can we make an agreement for doing illegal activities? We'll see. Yeah? We'll see that. The answer is no, but we'll see why and all. You cannot have a contract for illegal agreements.
Sir,
Yeah. Huh.
sir, what if it is an oral agreement? Will this law still apply?
Okay. There are two things I need to tell you. Theoretically, oral agreements are valid agreements. I repeat. Theoretically, oral agreements are valid agreements. Practically, oral agreements are not enforceable in court. To prove the oral agreements, it is very difficult. But as per Indian Contract Act, oral agreements are valid agreements. Yeah? Sir, but how to prove oral agreements? Now, for example, Bhavan said that I will give you 50,000, but they did not enter into any contract. Now what to do, sir? Can Sanjana enforce anything on Bhavan? Can it be possible? The answer is yes. How? Witness. If there is a person standing next by and seeing all this, someone is recording it.
Sir?
Huh?
Yeah, I was about to ask, any recording?
Yes. If you can prove it, yes, it is valid. So, oral agreements are also valid agreements. Yeah? But it is a little difficult to prove in court. So, it is always safe to enter into a written agreement. As per your Indian Contract Act, oral agreements are valid agreements. Yes. Yeah. So, agreement, sir, give us examples. Example, lease agreement, rent agreement, partnership agreement. Your...
Sir, we explain consideration again.
Yeah, consideration I have not at all explained. We'll get into it. Yeah. So, all those things are your things. Done. Okay, sir, what do you mean by consideration? Consideration means I'm not defining it here. I'm just telling you what is the meaning of it. Yeah. So what do you mean by consideration? Consideration means something in return. Always remember, if at all there needs to be a valid contract, both the parties need to get something in return. If only one party gets something, the other party is not getting anything in return, that is not a valid contract. So what is consideration? Consideration can be anything, that is cash. Now you tell me, I told you whatever we both are having is a contract. You gave me money, what are you getting back?
College.
You're giving us coaching.
Education.
Service, that is a service from my end. You are getting knowledge, education. So consideration, I am getting money, you are getting something in return. For a contract to exist, two parties should exchange something. If only one party gets something, the other party does not get anything in return, there is no valid contract. Consideration is mandatory for both the parties. So it can be cash, service, kind. Now you take any agreement you have entered into, there will be anything you will be getting into return. Rental agreement, you are getting house, the other person is getting money, that is rent. Partnership agreement, you are giving money, the partnership is giving you stake, ownership, based on which you will get return. Yes. So every agreement, if at all there is a contract, there should be consideration. What do you mean by consideration? Something in return. Both the parties, meaning what, sir? Arivu Pro offered to do education to you. You were a student. Arivu Pro was an institution. They offered you education, that is me offering you knowledge. You are paying them money. For me, money is consideration. For you, service or education is consideration. There should be give as well as take. If it is only one way, sir, there is no contract. Sir, in this case only...
It's a give and take policy, sir.
It's give and take policy, yes. Gagan has a doubt. Yes, I was expecting you to ask. Sir, in this case, only Sanjana is being benefited. Bhavan is not at all being benefited. Bhavan is not going to court. He is not being arrested. What is that then? Yeah, even showing sympathy, pity. It is a service. I mean, I am not taking the action on you. Getting? Done. Any consideration can be called as contract, sir. Anything can be consideration can be anything. But there are certain do's and don'ts. That is your second chapter. Yeah. Sir, if at all can I give drugs, sir? Sir, I will give you certain drugs, sir. Instead of money, I will give you drugs. Is it valid, sir? Can I do it? So that we will be seeing in second chapter. Can you please explain the contract aspect of life insurance? What exactly in insurance? Okay. So consideration, the section is 2D. Section 2, subsection D. Consideration is defined in section 2, clause D. Okay, to give financial coverage. Okay, insurance contracts are always based on the terms and conditions. You go through the entire thing and you sign. If you are okay, you will agree. If not, you will not enter into an insurance contract. Won't agreement be equal to offer plus acceptance? Okay. Okay, Bhavan, I'll come to that point. So Bhavan's doubt is, sir, then don't you think agreement should be offer plus acceptance plus consideration? We'll come to that part. Loans are agreements. Everything is agreement. Bank loan is also an agreement. See, what is agreement? Okay. Okay, we'll do one thing. Let us quickly break and let us come back. Yeah?